Okay, it's tip of the week time. So welcome. I'm John Matus. I'm going to show you today a little bit about our equipment module in response to a user's request. They wanted to start looking at cataloging their equipment, and I figured, hey, that would make a good tip of the week. So I am breaking from my current theme of online education to talk a little bit about the equipment module, which you will find in your TCM here if you have web services or suite. If you are a TCM only user, sorry, this feature is not in your set, but hey, please give us a call about upgrading. We'd love to talk to you about it. So what you're looking at here, everybody, is basically a bunch of equipment. This is stuff that we own here at Less Stress Instructional Services. It's a bunch of various types of equipment. In this case, most of the stuff is EMT equipment, but you can filter and just look at your CPR mannequins, for example. So here is, as the list is loading, a bunch of CPR mannequins. And you can filter down a little bit by other types of equipment, AED trainers, let's say. So you can do a lot about this, as you can see. That one is mislabeled. But basically, it allows you to catalog your equipment, so you can do that. You can also do it by holder. So you can say, hey, show me a little bit about what one particular person is using. So let's say you want to see what this Matus guy is hanging on to at his house because he's not particularly good at returning things. You can see what that person has been assigned and or is hanging on to. Okay, so there's an example of just what holder John Matus is holding. So let's just go through a couple of quick items here. The equipment ID is basically the serial number of the equipment in TCM, not so much the serial number of the product, but rather the record number in TCM. It's automatically assigned. You don't have to sweat that. The name of the product is whatever you choose to name it. As you can see, I am labeling electronics equipment, training equipment, etc. The asset ID is your assigned number in TCM. So what will happen here is you'll be giving numbers to pieces of equipment to individually identify them separately from whatever name you gave. So for example, you'll notice that I have two ASUS tablets, and one is asset ID 1040 and the other one is asset ID 31. The holder is simply the person who is hanging onto it or the site where it's located. So TCM enables you to assign a product to a location or to a individual, and you can put an in-service or out-of-service marker on it. So that's basically how it works. So those are the field definitions that we're working with. So I'm going to go back to this thing, and I'm going to put all in there. So I'm looking at every piece of equipment that you have cataloged. So let's talk about how to catalog a piece of equipment. If you hit the new equipment button, it basically opens up a profile for you. So I'm going to make one. Okay. And the first thing you need to do is assign an asset ID. What I do is I just do a sequential number based on the last asset. So in my list of assets here, my last one, as you can see here, was 1133. So my new asset should be 1134. Name of it is Fake Thingy. Okay. Fake Thingy is going to be a OB mannequin. Okay. And it's going to be made by let's go with Simulades. And the model is going to be I don't think I have a model. But basically, this is where you can identify brands. So just to give you an example, folks, asset type would be, let's say, do a little bit more realistic one, a CPR mannequin made by Simulades. And the product will be Sani Baby. Do I have one of those here? I don't. But the model would be basically to separate it from another product, say Resuscibaby. So, for example, they're all CPR mannequins. They may all be made by the same manufacturer, but the models could be different. So if I had to take this with a Laerdal example, I can have either a Resuscibaby or a Baby Annie, and both of those, could be identified as separate products in the model number. Okay. Holder is basically a combination, like I said, of people or sites. So I'm going to assign this one to our office here at Less Stress in Wayne. It imports the list of sites, by the way, in your TCM. So many of the sites will never have equipment on them, but they're kind of useful in terms of doing assignments. So if you leave a piece of equipment somewhere to basically store it that's how you would do that. Cost $350. That helps you do reports and things of equipment that you have. Now, if you want to upload a picture, you're going to click here on this little white bar, and you're going to select a picture from your pictures folder. I don't know if I have any good mannequins. I'm just going to pick that. I know this is not a recessive baby. You purists, you need to give me a little creative license here, okay? But I'm just going to upload the first baby picture I see. And that, will give you an idea. Like some of you may have folks in the office who are not highly experienced with equipment identification, or, they don't quite know what a Airway Larry is or a Preston adult professional mannequin is. So you can put a little picture in there so it's easier for your office staff to identify it when they look for it. So we're going to save this. It's going to send the picture up. Takes a second or two. And now fake thingy will come up on the list, probably with equipment ID 159 or something like that. Yeah, there you go. See that guy here? Okay, so when you open this the next time, it'll basically open up the same form, but I want to show you a couple of interesting things. One of which is its assignment history. There are, of course, no history items, but you can see every time this device has gone in and out of your office. So if it's been assigned before, you can see the people who or sites it's been assigned to. So where's this useful? That guy, we all have that guy, the guy who brings the stuff in broken or missing a face or with no lungs or otherwise does his very best to trash your stuff. If somebody picks up the equipment next and says, dude, there was no pads with this AED trainer, you can go back to your assignment history and say, hey, John Smith had it next. Let me give John Smith an earful. So you will be able to have a way to backtrack equipment assignments. Barcodes. So TCM allows you to barcode things in and out, which is pretty exciting stuff when you think about it. You can set up a little barcode at any computer. You can get TCM, which is basically any internet-enabled computer. And you can generate barcodes and then scan them. And I'm going to show you the scanning part later with a short video. But right now, I'm just going to show you how to generate the barcodes. So you'll notice that the equipment is at Less Stress Instructional Services Wayne office. So if you want to generate a barcode for this thing, meaning fake thingy 1134, you click the Asset Barcode button, and it generates a printable PDF with a barcode on it. See that? Fake thingy 1134. And this is scannable with any like USB scanner. We have some equipment that we've tested and is compatible with our stuff. Most stuff is compatible, but the stuff that we selected is both inexpensive, reliable, and generally speaking, easy to implement via plug and play. So we definitely recommend that. So you could print this on a sticker, for example, and slap it on a piece of equipment or on some kind of tag that is attached to a piece of equipment. And all of a sudden you have a trackable means of knowing where this product fake thingy is at all times. You can also generate an asset from the holder. So if this thing is in Wayne and you happen to need a Wayne sticker, you can click here. And there is your Less Stress Instructional Services Wayne office scanner label. So easy to do. Just as a quick aside, going out of the equipment module for just a minute, you can go to a site and then look in a site by editing it, and you will be able to print a holder label from this location also. So for example, folks, if you do not have any equipment assigned to a location, there won't be an easy way to print it from the equipment module, but you can print the sticker from the module in the training, the site module. So basically the area where you make sites here in training. You can do the same for instructors, by the way. So let's say you have an instructor. Just take this guy, for example. You can generate a holder label for him. Yeah. And now he's got a holder label also. So you can do holder labels not just from the equipment area, but also from the other areas of the software, which is pretty great. Okay, so how do you use the equipment allocation area? Well, this button up here is a public page, meaning you don't have to be logged in as an administrator to see it. So if you click on it, you can scan barcodes or type them. So you have a couple of options. You can, and it defaults to this field. So if you're holding a barcode scanner right now, you could just zap the label. Or if you don't have a barcode scanner, you could do this. and it'll give you matches. Okay, this happens to be a backboard. Scan the barcode label here for the holder, meaning the person and or site, or if you don't have it, you can type in the site. Okay, select it off the list and submit. Now, once you submit, it gets assigned to that site. So that piece of equipment now gets assigned to that holder. Again, it could be a person or a physical location. It gets timestamped. An email confirmation is sent to the holder, and the email confirmation is sent to the location, to the administrator of TCM. So, nice thing about this, you will very, very quickly be able to assign it and see it in the administrator area. So let me go to just fake thingy. Okay, the one we just made. And let's go ahead and assign it to Matus. Submit. Okay, got assigned successfully. So let's go back and refresh this administrator area. Right now you can see that it's still in Wayne, but that's only because I have not refreshed it. See, now it's assigned to John Matus. So, like I said, you can track pieces of equipment very, very easy using this equipment module. It's kind of an exciting little tool for those of you with a lot of stuff. Again, if you're a training center with a modest amount of equipment, maybe this is not a hassle for you. But one of the banes of my existence historically has been trying to figure out where all my airway heads are and who's got the OB mannequin and where all of that stuff is. So I hope that this is useful. I'm going to follow this up with a quick clip of me zapping stuff in our equipment room, just so you can see it all in action. Okay. All right. So I'm going to give you that demo I promised you on using the barcode scanner with our product. So what you have is seeing here is a kiosk that we've set up in our equipment room, and you don't have to do it quite this elaborate. You can certainly do this with any PC in your office. But the way we have it set up is we want a tablet that has no actual other function, so that instructors can come in and out and not have to worry about logging into an office computer. So we've set up this one, it's always on, and it basically will go ahead and do all of our barcode scanning. We also have a piece of equipment, an airway head that we've tagged previously using our software. So it has a asset barcode sticker on it that we've just applied to it with a tag, an asset tag, and these are easily obtainable either on the internet or at our website. So I'm going to ask my colleague here to zoom in on the tablet, and the software is set up to that internet page, equipment allocation for holders page, and it's just a very, very simple unrestricted page, meaning you don't have to be logged in as an administrator to see it or to use it. So Ken, if you would, back up on me, and let's give them a quick visual about how this works. So what I'm going to do here is I'm very simply going to take my piece of equipment, and I'm going to scan it with the barcode scanner. And this is a USB product. It will automatically scan into the TCM software. Okay, there you go. And Ken, can you zoom in here? And what it did, because the equipment automatically starts on this field, it zoomed it put in the asset ID, which is 001025, and that brought up this information, which is an airway bag with an airway head in it, and it shows you the history. So this particular product was just brought in by Ann Kanzi, who had it previously assigned to her. So what I'm going to do next, and Ken, if you would zoom out, is I'm going to zoom or scan my ID badge. Now, if you don't use ID badges, that's okay too. You don't have to do it. I'm going to show you how you can do this without any barcodes whatsoever. So if you don't want to be quite this elaborate, you can certainly just do this with IDs and names. But I'm going to scan the back of my barcode next, or the back of my ID badge, I should say. And, sorry, I wasn't in the right spot. Ken, you want to zoom in on the tablet so they can see it? Watch what happens. So it auto-populates John Matus in there, and if I simply hit submit, the equipment will now be allocated to John Matus. Okay, so you see the refresh page. So back on me, Ken. So what you've just seen is basically the ability to use barcodes both on the individual via their badge and on the equipment via a barcode. So I'm going to show you the same demo. I'm going to, however, assign it back to the equipment storage. So this is set up as a site in TCM.
And what I'm going to do is I've put a sticker here, a site ID, holder ID in this case, sticker, so that I can just barcode the location. So let's say I'm an instructor, right? I've just taught this piece of equipment. I'm bringing it back into the training center. I can very simply, and you can just stay there, okay? I can just barcode the equipment. Now I can barcode the site and hit submit on the tablet. And now the product has been assigned to the site again. So the equipment will refresh. So if this person had 3 or 4 pieces of equipment, you could just quickly barcode, barcode, submit, barcode, barcode, submit, barcode, barcode, submit, etc., etc., etc. So like I said, it's a very, very easy way of doing that. Now let's say you don't have all of the accoutrements here, right? You don't have a barcode reader, and they're not expensive. You could probably do this for about $100 total with a printer and the whole deal. But let's say you don't have any of this infrastructure. Maybe you're just doing this from a laptop and you don't really have all the stuff. You're at a location. You can assign the equipment via standard text. So I'm going to show you real quick. You'll notice that there is a number. The equipment ID is here on the sticker. And we can enter this manually. So Ken, if you would, to the screen again. I'm going to assign this piece of equipment to John Matus. So the way that we're going to do that is we're going to, and just get a good focus there, we're going to click this time here, and I'm going to use the keyboard on the product. And this is a tablet, so folks, I'm using a soft keyboard on the screen. If you had a regular computer with a standard keyboard assigned to it, you could totally do that. And I'm going to use the equipment ID 001025. LSISO, right back. Okay. Now notice, it matches and it brings up the info. And look, see, Ann Kanzi had it. Now John Matus has it as the current assignee. And I am going to put our office in Wayne as the equipment holder. So I'm going to put LSESS, STRESS, and it will make whatever matches it can. See that? And we are the Wayne office. So we're going to save and submit. Nope, I guess we're already submitted there. So I'm going to reassign it to Wayne office anyway. So we have basically reassigned it to Wayne. But I did it this time not so much with the barcodes, I did it just by typing in the appropriate data. And I could do it with my name, I could do it with a barcode reader, however you want to do that. So one last thing I'd like to show you is the report issue button. So Ken, can you get in on that again? This button down here is basically designed for equipment problems. So if you hit report issue, you can basically assign some information about a particular product on an assignment. So the idea here is, let's say that you broke the airway head, right? You took it out the last time and you broke it. What you can do is basically report a problem with it. So let's get the asset ID in there. Okay. And basically, I'm going to pick myself off the list. Kind of easier to go this route. And right up. And I pretty much busted this thing badly enough where it's out of service. Okay. And you can type in a little note. Put too large an airway in. Okay, so I really torched this thing, so I'm going to save that. And what happens is this assignment goes out, and what ends up happening is the administrator will get a notice saying, hey, equipment has been made out of service, and it'll put that little description in there, and that particular piece of equipment gets marked out of service until you repair it and mark it back in service. So that was just a quick description of what you can do with a product. Again, some users had some interest in how to do that, so we wanted to give you guys a quick video on how these features are used. Hopefully this gives you a good understanding, and the product is TrainingCenterManager.com. You can find details on the product there. Don't forget, June 11th, 2015, our webinar where we're going to talk about some of the online learning options. So if you haven't registered, by all means, check last week's tip of the week, and the registration link is there. So again, hope this has been helpful for you. Thanks.